Hey family, what's good? This is your girl, I'm the Bronze Goddess, and I'm actually here today to do another strawberry letter. But before I get into today's video, I want to remind you guys to check out my book. It's called The Dating Game, How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. It's available on CreateSpace, Amazon, and also now downloadable in Kindle. You can actually get an opportunity to win an autographed copy of this book. All you have to do is like this video and be sure to leave a comment below. I will announce the winner at the beginning of my next strawberry letter, so be sure to stay tuned for that, alright? Let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Let's go get 'em. I am a Christian, 29-year-old married woman and mother of two, a 2-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. My husband and I met in college and in 2008 and were married in 2011. And now we're in the throes of a crisis that has me considering divorce and him fighting to win me back. The only thing is he doesn't know the full story. Let me explain. My husband and I have had a difficult time connecting sexually, intellectually, and emotionally since day one of our marriage. He is not a great communicator and is very passive, where I over-communicate and can be very dominant. This has left him feeling ignored, dismissed, and feeling emasculated. Sexually, he came into the relationship as a virgin. I was nothing close to that. I took his virginity before we married. But we had limited sexual interaction due to our religious obligations. He never initiates sex and is not able to satisfy me sexually. It got so bad that on several occasions I questioned his sexuality. Intellectually, we have very different interests and have very surface level conversations and interaction. We are both resentful of one another, him feeling like I think I'm too good for him and me feeling like he's a lazy, I'm not going to use this word because I don't speak like this, but I'm going to say poor excuse for a husband. But I supported him anyway, professionally, personally. I cook, I clean, I bared and reared our children. I carry most of the household responsibilities. All he does is make excuses. However, the one thing I have always credited him with was being faithful. I found out he was having an emotionally and partially physical affair, no sex, for 5 months with one of his co-workers at his new job. This is the second time in our relationship he has looked for attention outside of our relationship. I just feel like he must not want me. How could he when he can give to another woman what he refuses to give to me? He said she makes him feel good about himself because he felt like he was better than her. I am not one to blow my own horn, but I'm attractive and fit. Why doesn't he want me? I'm furious. Don't get me wrong, but I am no saint. 2 months before I found out about his affair, I went out with some girlfriends, got way too drunk, and slept with an ex-coworker, a male. I felt terrible after and kept it to myself and completely cut the guy off after that one night. I was, however, less committed to my marriage after that, and the guilt didn't keep me from sleeping with an old friend while out of town shortly after that. When I returned from a trip, I found out about my husband's affair. I kept my mouth shut, and considering how I was not innocent, I was gentle with him when I finally confronted him and honestly felt relieved that we could get a divorce and move on. But he is fighting for our marriage now, wants to make love to me and tells me how beautiful I am and how he's changing and seeing the errors of his ways. He praises me as being a wonderful wife. Alright, so this letter is incredibly long, so I'm going to have to summarize it from here. Basically, the writer goes on to say that her husband has confessed, but the guilt is consuming her, that she has slept with her coworker and also with an ex, and she has not told him about that. She says that basically she feels like she has grounds for divorce, but she doesn't really know what she should do. Now, my whole thing is this. I feel like the issue here is you. And I know you're going to be shocked, and a lot of people may not agree with me on this, but hear me out. You knew that you didn't connect with him sexually before you married him. Intellectually, emotionally, the only positive thing you said about your husband in this entire letter is that he's attractive. So you married the man for shallow reasons, now you want him to be deep? Like, I feel like that's the part that really gets to me. And you said that your husband feels like you think that you're better than him. Well, don't you? Because that's the way you made it sound in the letter. You did make it sound like you're better than your husband. The only thing that he has going for himself is the fact that he's attractive. And that's giving you the excuse to step out on him. You emasculated the man, made him feel like he couldn't please you in any area. Whenever you make a man feel like he can't please you, what some men do is they go out looking for somebody who they can please, who they can satisfy, somebody who they feel is beneath them. You made him feel like less of a man. And whenever you do that, a man is looking for a woman who wants to feel like she's protected by him, who wants to feel like he's the king of the castle. And you have confessed that that's not what you've done. And I feel like you have a lot of nerve. This man is groveling at your feet, trying to apologize for his misgivings, and you're not even confessing to him that you slept with a coworker and an ex. You're letting him feel so guilty and so consumed, and he's groveling and trying to do anything to make it right for you, and you know you have this big, huge secret. You act like this is an arranged marriage. Like somebody told you to meet him at the church at this particular time, you had never met him before, and all of a sudden you were marrying him, and now you're getting to know him. Like what's all this courting and all this dating and all the time that you spent beforehand? Why didn't you use that time to make sure that he was compatible with you? You don't just marry a man because he's good looking and he gave you a ring. You marry him because you think you have a good chance in making forever happen with that person. And I feel like you married him for the wrong reasons. Because you'd make some cute kids, because you're attractive and he's attractive. Is that really all it took? I feel like if you want your marriage to work, you have to be committed to it. And you're not going to be committed to it still letting other men pursue you while you're a married woman. Your coworker was out of line to pursue you, but you were out of line for entertaining that. You slept with that man, and then you also slept with your ex. And nobody else will respect your vows if you don't respect your vows. I mean, anybody who I meet, the first thing they know, any male, they know that I'm a married woman. I represent my husband every day in every way, every opportunity that I get. And that's why I don't get approached like that. Y'all already know I'm cute. It ain't about me being unattractive. That's not why I get approached. Is you can tell by looking at me from the way I carry myself, I represent my husband to the fullest. I dare you to say something slick to me. You know I'm his wife, right? You need to be like that with your husband. You should have been representing him to the fullest. Nobody would even pursue you if you didn't give him the energy to let them know you got a chance. I know I'm married and all, but there's a chance. This is less about him and more about you. If he wasn't what you wanted, why did you take him? And if he's still not what you want, why don't you let him be free? You've already committed adultery, and so has he, at least in his heart. But I just feel like you're wrong to have somebody who's loving you and willing to do anything to be with you. I feel like when you got married, he said, I do, and you said, I guess. I mean, I guess. Now, I'm not saying the situation is doomed. Of course, God can work this out. You can pray that God will help him to be a bit more assertive and be more aggressive. And you can work with him on that. If the issue is sexual incompatibility, there's so many things that you can do, whether it's going to a certain shop or whether it's, you said that you took his virginity. So if you're more experienced, then why don't you teach him? Why don't you tell him what to do? You can't blame the man for not knowing. If you're the one who's bragging, you know, I'm far from that. Like, I know my way. Like okay, so you, okay. So why don't you tell him what to do to make you happy? I feel like you were looking for an excuse to step out on your husband, and you created one. He was too nice and too passive, and that wasn't good enough reason. But so you stepped out on him. And don't get me wrong, your husband can take some blame for this, because, I mean, if he knew he wasn't pleasing you, he should have been working on that, but you guys should have been working on that together. That doesn't give either of you an excuse to step out on your marriage. If you love your husband, not just think he's cute, then work to fight for your marriage. Don't have him fighting just for you. That's not fair. It's a one-sided relationship. Typically, it's the woman who is fighting to save her relationship, fighting to save her marriage, and it is typically the woman who's in a relationship all by herself, but now it's him. The tables have turned. He's in a relationship all by himself because here he is relentlessly pursuing his own wife, and you're not giving your own husband a chance because you think the grass is greener on the other side. Bad boys aren't the kind of guys that you actually marry. You marry the good guy that's going to be a great father and a great husband and a great friend, a great confidant. I feel like you're missing your single days and you want to get back out there. But I'm going to tell you, this good guy may be gone when you come back. Because you can't just dog out a good guy and think he's going to continue to just wait on you to get it right. You should confess to him what you've done. And he seems like the kind of person who would actually forgive you for that. And then work on your marriage without the distraction of any other males in your life. Cut off that coworker. Cut off that ex-boyfriend. And don't entertain any other men unless you are divorced. You have to take your responsibility and your role in this. Whenever you continue to emasculate a man and make him feel like in no way, in no shape, in no form can he ever please you, he will most likely seek out a woman who he can please, who he can satisfy. He was wrong for doing that, but you were wrong for pushing him and making him feel like less of a man. If you wanted an aggressive, tough guy, that's who you should have married. But don't plant an apple seed and be mad that cherries grew. Alright, love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to thumbs up if you did. Also, leave a comment in the comment section below. What should she do? I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Till next time. Later, divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.